the second hand.
I mean, we got to start with Oppenheimer.
Okay. Oh yeah. Well, all right. Well, let's get into it.
Let's get into it. It was fine. No, I'm just
Well, yeah. Okay. I think it's important, when talking about, Nolan's latest Oppenheimer. I think it's important to get into our general feelings about Christopher Nolan. Did you want to start or shall I?
You start because I'm
very passionate about.
I've got a pretty vapid feeling. I have a couple theories, but I don't have any super strong feelings.
Okay.
I would say.
Well, of course, like many, I caught on the train with Nolan back in '08 with The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I revisited all his previous movies, and then was super hyped for Inception, followed by Dark Knight Rises, Interstellar. But then I saw Interstellar second time in theaters at the 70 millimeter. It was 70 millimeter at the Irvine IMAX.
Mm-hmm.
And
was that filmed for 70 millimeter, or was it just like IMAX converted?
I'm pretty sure he shot a lot of it in IMAX.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's when he really started pushing it. When he started working with Hoyt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he started really pushing it with the IMAX. And yeah, I started because when we first saw Interstellar, it was just a beautiful. Yeah, it was beautiful,
Yeah.
And I saw it at the 70 millimeter IMAX at Irvine, and
wait, did I? I don't think I saw it in IMAX.
No.
With you.
I went with my mom and sister.
I might have seen it in like Dolby and Puente or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, we just saw it at the Regal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I have such a good memory for those where we saw what. But yeah, saw it at the IMAX, and there was some of this issue when we saw Oppenheimer. Where there's like little specks of dirt and debris. Sometimes it looks like there's like a ant stuck on the frame.
Yeah. I remember that in Oppenheimer. There's
seeing Interstellar. It was like fruit flies got like demolished in front of the projector. Like it looked like you saw like pieces of wings and stuff. And then during the whole docking scene when debris is flying around, it looked like it's just like man, this movie's looking kind of ugly right now. And from then on, kind of rewatching that movie again, it just fell in estimation for me. I couldn't get into Nolan's like talkiness, his slack action scenes, which I think we can get into a little bit, right?
Yeah, I just immediately got an image of the Batman.
Yeah, the Dark Knight
extra
Rises.
The falling back.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, like the most flaws that I see in Christopher Nolan, whether it's his general bad action, or sometimes like the characters are just expositing dialogue.
Yeah. I think that it seems like a writer's way to make action, and not a director,
not a visual guy,
or just someone on the fly to know this isn't gonna look good. Or this is gonna look flat. Kind of thing. I think that is definitely a pitfall of his. Maybe the best would have been Tenet. The action scenes in that.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Tenet. Well, okay. So getting back to my original point. Then seeing Dunkirk. I saw that on the Limax, and impressive movie. I think it's highly impressive. I'm just at such a remove with it emotionally.
Yeah.
I think the timeline business in it really deflates a lot of the tension. It's what I call the Two Towers syndrome, where you're watching Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers, and you're following Sam and Gollum for 25 minutes, and then you're
Pippin,
and then it goes to Pippin, and you're like, you're just deflated a little. But then you're getting into it again.
Yeah.
Then Aragorn's falling off of a cliff for 25 minutes. So that movie, it's kind of on the lower end for me for Nolan's movies, but I think it's an impressive movie. Just I'm at a remove with it. But then it was seeing by the time we saw Tenet, I was pretty neutral on Nolan. But then seeing that one, it really kind of brought me back. Yeah, like you said, his action is immaculate in that one, I think.
John David Washington's physicality, I think,
Yes.
played a big part.
Yes, absolutely.
I think that definitely helped. Pattinson, I don't remember much
Pattinson gets the subtle role in that because he's got a lot more going on off screen than John David. And it's funny because I loved Tenet the first time we saw it, but I thought it was largely nonsense. But it's not until like the fourth time you watch it where you realize, oh, okay, so while everything is circling forward in the narrative, as things that are gonna happen in an hour are circling back and 3 times over.
I don't know if I can do this conversation, Ethan. Of explaining Tenet. I already feel stupid enough. I played 20 rounds of disc golf today. I felt like an idiot. Okay. I don't know if I'm hearing you, but I just can't comment on the timeline of Tenet. Okay, we can talk Memento timeline if we want. It took me fucking 10 years to figure that one out, and I got it. But maybe in the pod in 10 years I'll be like, guys, I got Tenet. I figured it out. I grasped it.
Maybe if you get the script.
But wait, it's always like 45 or like an hour in, or like 30 minutes in. I'm like, okay, I got it. I think I figured it out. Yeah. And then by the hour in, when you see the reverse explosion, I'm like, I'm done. Yeah. I just can't. Yeah. I just don't know what to do with it. Like, but it doesn't. It has the line, just don't overthink it, just enjoy it kind of thing. Yeah, just feel it. Yeah. It doesn't make me feel dumb in the way that I am turned off. Yeah. It's just like, who cares? Yeah. Who cares? Exactly. This is just awesome.
Exactly. Yeah, it's, as I described it when we saw it, it was like Nolan's 6 Underground.
Yeah.
Even down to having the same henchman, silent henchman type.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, but, oh my God, I found Tenet, but in reverse on YouTube.
Oh no!
Yeah, I started watching that. Yeah, okay. Anyways, but that's how I am on Nolan. But then as we'll get into Oppenheimer is like 100% got me back on with the guy. But where were you at with Nolan before?
So, like when Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises came out, I didn't see Batman Begins.
I didn't see it in theaters either.
I didn't see it until after I saw Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
But when I saw those two, I think I saw Dark Knight Rises in theaters. Mm-hmm. Those two, I didn't know Christopher Nolan at the time. But sorry, we just got some delicious quesadillas. But I wasn't familiar with Christopher Nolan as a director. I just started hanging out with you, so I started to understand like and follow directors and things like that. I was into the Coens probably by then, but what I think Interstellar was what introduced me to Nolan. Mm-hmm. But honestly, where I went with it, I was more on Hoyt van Hoytema.
Okay.
Just on his cinematography. Mm-hmm. It was a name that popped for me, so I was like, "Oh man,
Wait, Von Hoytema." This guy, I remember you saying that.
Sick.
Yeah.
But and then Dunkirk. That was the main anchor for me to enjoy that movie.
Yeah,
just the imagery of everything.
I remember you loving Dunkirk, and like, yeah, I just felt so bad not being able to love it.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I will say the whole Merry and Pippin thing for me in Dunkirk was the ground stuff. I couldn't get behind. Like, I was fine with the character and his like him just going through him pretty much going through an After Hours-esque like
an After Hours
like
version
Odyssey of of war.
Yeah.
But it was Tom Hardy in the plane fight scene.
Yeah.
That's where Van Hoytema like just went off, and like some of that directing like blew me away. Like with those dogfighting scenes, it was just nuts. Yeah. That's what made me. I almost rewatched it a night or so ago, but
I gotta. I hate to be a bitch about this, but I think the aerial scenes in shots in fragments are good. Mm-hmm. It's just I think one of the big flaws is that so he doesn't show the enemy.
Yeah.
So it makes the aerial scenes like, okay, what the fuck am I looking at sometimes? For me at least. But like you said, Tom Hardy, Just I mean, he's got the Bane thing going on again.
Yeah. So it was such a funny thing. It's like this guy's never gonna get his fate. I think I also watched like Outlaws, like maybe like a year after. And in Outlaw, I don't even know who did this.
Lawless?
Or Lawless, sorry. Yeah, Lawless. He gets like shot in the face.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
And then I remember Jessica Chastain, she jumps on him in bed all naked and he's
That's
like,
right.
"Oh, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
That was the same year as Dark Knight Rises, so that was when Tom Hardy was on top of the world.
Yeah.
He still is.
He's still great.
Yeah, he's still great. But no, one of the things that drew me in, like, on an emotional level with Dunkirk was just Tom Hardy's eyes.
Yeah. But I get what you're saying with like the single perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think like not everybody's Howard Hughes.
Yeah.
Like you got me thinking about how complicated it is to be coherent with a plane. You're dealing with the z-axis or you're dealing with so many more dimensions. And it's so hard to get a frame of reference for where everything is when you're just in the clouds kind of thing. So yeah, I do want to rewatch that to kind of understand that a little bit.
I did like the attention to like the mechanics of the plane though. That was interesting, especially when Tom Hardy's meter blew out.
Well, yeah, like, and his race against time is his gas tank.
Yeah,
and like that whole the tension rising, that hit a lot better for me than the timer of we need to get them out of here. By this time.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
And I do think the last 20 minutes of Dunkirk though, like that's a great chunk right there.
Yeah.
I think that's where the timeline shit actually coheres together in a meaningful. I mean, it's the point where they all meet basically, but it kind of works for me there. Yeah, just like that build up. Tom Hardy's following the bomber and the guys in the oil slick water. It's pretty intense filmmaking.
So actually, that makes me want to get into my my assessment of Nolan as a writer and director because I was saying this before Oppenheimer, and Oppenheimer just sealed the deal for me. Christopher Nolan is the writer version of Michael Bay.
Yeah, where Michael Bay's the eye.
Yeah, he's the visual. Michael Bay is visual as the Christopher Nolan is writing.
Yeah.
And Oppenheimer 100% did that for me, but particularly I think when Nolan is given a historical piece, Dunkirk, Oppenheimer, his use of where his like Michael Bay-esque writing is shown a lot clearer because when you give him Tenet, when you give him Inception, when you give him Memento, he just goes off.
Yeah.
He just becomes there's just these directors, Wes Anderson, Christopher Nolan, and Michael Bay, that are just so steeped in their own cliches, I guess you could call it, that when you give Nolan his own work, then he's gonna go so far off the deep end. Which, I mean, for better or worse, that's why he's kind of a conflicting artist for a lot of people at this point. I think it's funny, he was like kind of the last one, because people have said that about Wes Anderson. People have always said that about Michael Bay.
Absolutely.
But, like, it seems like only recently people are starting to like
the tide was turning on Christopher a little.
I guess just because the Batman movies were pretty straightforward. Like it was almost an offshoot. That's why I didn't go like, who's this director for The Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises. But
I think though the Dark Knights are straightforward mostly, they do play with time a little bit. Like the Dark Knight especially, like it really plays with like structure mostly, and how like, oh, the movie feels like it's ending and it's like, oh shit, now we're on the ferries and the joke like, and then Dark Knight Rises has that bizarre time jump when Bruce is just hanging, and then he passes out, and then months pass in just a second. And then from that moment on, that's when Nolan really starts building the momentum for the finale. I think
all right, we've talked about Nolan enough to not talk about Oppenheimer.
But what's our favorite Nolan? Let's just favorite, least favorite.
I would have to say I don't want to say Oppenheimer yet.
Yeah.
I'm always hesitant to say the most recent one is my favorite because I do that every time I walk out of the theater. That was the best Wes Anderson movie I've ever seen. I think French Dispatch is probably not going to. Asteroid City is probably not going to top it for me. But I'm going to go Tenet. Least favorite, The Following. The Following.
Oh man, that's student film shit.
Yeah, if we're not gonna count it, if we're not gonna count it, that is tough. I would Inception.
Inception's your least favorite.
I don't dislike it, but I just missed the hype train. And then I watched it, and I was just. I was tired. I liked Memento more with the work with time and all that stuff, and I liked Tenet more
ambiguity and everything. I will say about Inception, I love Inception, but it's pretty surface. Pretty surface level, I think.
My thing is it's the same era, Leo, as Shutter Island, so I can't help but put those two on the same bucket.
Yeah,
and I'm
Shutter Island every day,
100% of the time.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. But what about you?
Did you say favorite of yours was Tenet?
Favorite is Tenet.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. So my top 3 would be I gotta go. I think this is actually probably his sloppiest movie. Probably the movie he had the least motivation to make, but it's a movie where he goes ham just 100% of the time. It's Dark Knight Rises. I think just the scale of it, the fact that, especially watching it 11 years after release, that movie is a comedy. That is his satirical jab at the world, in a way that his other movies are maybe kind of hint at, like Dark Knight kind of hints at, but Dark Knight Rises goes full blown.
Yeah.
And it's just so apocalyptic, and it's like it's the American apocalypse, and then how he follows up with Interstellar, where now the planet's dying. Yeah. The death of Western civilization, and that movie Dark Knight Rises just makes looking evil just so cool.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, like just that and the Joker, obviously.
I think Bane might be. It's hard to knock Thanos for me, because Thanos is like unfair. It's Hank Aaron.
Yeah.
Like, he just had so much build up. Like, how can you not love him? And Josh Brolin does great.
Yeah.
But Bane, for just being a one-off.
Yeah.
Dude.
Like how terrific.
How do you top that? Like, I don't think a single movie villain has ever topped that for me.
Me neither. And the Joker, a lot of the criticism of Bane about the time of release are like, oh, he's not as charismatic as the Joker. That was the big thing, and it's like whenever reviewers say that, it's like, oh, so you just wanted the same thing last time.
Yeah, you just wanted, it's just a different character.
It's a different character, and he's still fun.
And he's fun, and he's acting through a mouthpiece thing. Yeah. And he's killing it.
And he's killing it. Yeah.
Like, he instills fear, and like, even watching it, I think a week or so ago, I was like some of his lines, I was like, oh man, this nobody should fuck with this guy. like even Batman, I'm like, dude, chill, dude, this guy's nuts. But like with Joker, it's always that's the thing with the Joker is he wants Batman. He's poking. Yeah, he just pokes. But Bane's like, no, I'm gonna crush you.
I'm gonna poke you. And when I was rewatching it a week ago or so, just one thing I noticed was during the fight scene, the centerpiece fight scene, when Bane, when it's in the dark and he does the "I'm here to fulfill Ra's al Ghul's destiny," and when he flexes, what is this? Your traps?
That's your tricep.
That's your tricep. Yeah, the way he moves his tricep, like. Okay, a lot of people make fun of like, oh, he's too small to be Bane, But as a realistic, like, bruiser, like, special forces type, like, that's it. Like, it's impressive physical work.
Well, people always say that, where it's like, oh, he's too small, like, kind of thing. It's like, you need like we're not gonna cast The Rock for every role that a giant behemoth is going to be. Like, no, like Tom Hardy's a shorter guy.
You hire an actor.
He's a shorter guy, but he gets buff. Yeah. He gets buffed up, and
I think they use some Gandalf kind of perspective to make him look bigger too.
Tom Cruise has an apple crate that he fucking uses on every Mission Impossible movie. It's okay. Like, but he shouldn't play Jack Reacher. That comes straight from my grandma. My grandma's I don't know if I mentioned this. My grandma's offended. That Tom Cruise is Jack Reacher. My grandma's hate for Tom Cruise is one of my favorite things.
It's not because he's part of a terrible cult.
Well, it's part of that.
Oh, okay. Well, that's okay.
It's part of that. Like it's like I don't like his beliefs, and he's not a 6'1" private or special agent.
A special agent.
You a triple agent.
Oh, he's special, all right. He's special. But yeah, Oppie.
I think I just dropped my beer, but where it went, it's concerning. Oh, it's in my hand. We're doing great. Oppenheimer. We're 20 minutes in.
Jesus, you're supposed to be herding this.
Yeah, I'm the producer. Oh man. Okay. So okay. Cillian Murphy's Oppenheimer. I know that's not whose Oppenheimer it is, but
this is Christopher Nolan's
Oppenheimer. Maybe the most fever dream of a movie.
I've seen quite a while.
I've seen him in quite a bit. I haven't seen Tree of Life in a while, and
it was it was giving me flashes of that. Yeah,
like, he is definitely in his Terrence Malick bag here.
And
it's awesome.
Oh hell yeah! What a sight to behold.
So, I mean, how many times have you seen it? Twice.
Twice.
Okay, same twice.
Yeah, we saw it. Yeah.
And then you only saw it once in 70 mil.
That's
right. Yeah, we saw it both.
We saw it in Limax on my birthday, and then the week later we saw it in 70. Wow. Yeah. I had the pleasure of sitting in B13.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I want to mention. So both of us got to sit front row, row B actually. In two different screenings. First, we both saw it in Limax, and I went last minute, so I got row B to see it in Limax, which I think, honestly, if you can't get the IMAX and true IMAX, row B is where you want to be.
Yeah, you don't want to. You're not gonna crane your neck or anything.
Yeah, as long as you're in the middle, like you're perfect. Mm-hmm. But like it's a good, like if it makes Limax good enough.
Yeah,
like it doesn't feel any different.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, seeing the 70 millimeter was just like, go see a 70 millimeter movie. Like I just don't even know how to explain it. Like when it started, I immediately got concerned for you because I saw how far the image went down.
Yeah. From
like the balcony seating, and I was like, can Ethan even see the last like eighth of the screen here?
I could. But yeah, you could see a little balcony, but yeah, it didn't bother me much.
Yeah. But man, this movie just like for being a movie with just talking, like there's one bomb
talking about shit that I can't comprehend.
That is just over your head, and they set up the idea of quantum physics so beautifully. I mean, me and Ethan have been listening to "Can You Hear the Music" on repeat for this whole week, just because it's such a beautiful transition. And the way it just conceptualizes something that 99% of the audience has no grasp, can't grasp the idea of quantum physics. Mm-hmm. It I don't even know, like
how when that musical piece starts playing, it really throws you into the hard montage mode that Nolan's really known for in his best moments, I think. And you start to see he's got his curly hair. That's how you know he's young. And he's throwing those glasses in the corner, trying to comprehend, mass and how mass cannot, occupy two different pieces of. Okay, so I'm gonna stop right there.
I was like, wow, you're really gonna get into this.
They're splicing, but then they intersplice images of him learning and cosmic images. Haven't seen the likes of since saw Terrence Malick's Voyage of Time, which is basically the creation sequence of Tree of Life, just in the truncated form.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really giving me those vibes.
Yeah.
And Yeah, it really it also shows an image of him looking at like a Picasso or something.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how you're supposed to look at this movie. It's an abstract portrait of a man who doesn't comprehend his relationships in a linear level like you or I would.
Yeah.
He doesn't even look at people
mhm.
as, you know.
Well, that's funny. I got almost a completely different thing out of that because, I mean, it was that whole lead up to him telling his life story in the hearing, the closed hearing, was that was the moment he was trying to 100% comprehend all these theories, all of his quantum physics classes that he's taking, and trying to really observe and learning what it is to be a theorist versus like the experimenter, which is established later when he's teaching at the college and he goes, "Oh no, thanks, I'm a theorist. I'm not. I don't do the experiments."
Yeah.
And it really, when just tying that in with him observing art, it is a beautiful thing because he's not the experimenters are the artists or the I guess I conceptualized it better over text with you. But like the theorists are the observer. They observe the creator, whoever, I don't know. I'm not praise be inshallah, all the stuff. I don't know.
the god plutonium.
Yeah, but it conceptualizes what a theorist is, and they just want to. They're almost a critic actually. They're trying to understand where you came from, how this occurs. They're not really concerned with doing it themselves, which is a big part of like his upbringing into the project. And it just completely like it relates the quantum physics to the obsession of artists.
Yeah.
And it everyone can kind of
everyone
understand
can look
that.
into that.
Everyone's heard a song that like makes you well up with tears a little bit. Everyone's seen a movie that makes you cry. Like,
well, that's the exact dialogue that Kenneth Branagh says. Bors he plays, when he meets Oppenheimer. He says, it doesn't matter if you can read the music; it's can you hear the music?
Yeah,
and that's basically the line from Tenet. Don't understand it, just feel it. That's this movie's version
damn,
of it. This fucking guy.
He's a hack. No, I'm
He's
just kidding.
Fucking hack.
but yeah, the way this movie like kind of goes about. I'm glad it is a needed double watch. I would say, just to kind of understand. It jumps around so crazily, and I could see people being turned off by that.
Yeah.
I can understand why that, like, it doesn't really knock it for me because everything else hooked me in, that I wanted to see it again and understand. Oh, there was like a couple scenes that jumped around. I was like, wait, when is this after the bomb or is this before the bomb?
He's got curly hair. He's young.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember they said he went on like a crazy diet. Cillian Murphy went on.
Oh
like
yeah.
Do you think that was just for the? It was mostly for just like the kid scenes
for the whole movie.
Oh, I mean, he is pretty gaunt.
Yeah. When he's naked with Florence Pugh when they're sitting in the chairs.
Yeah. And I mean, okay, so I guess I'll get into my only gripe with it on second viewing. The way they handle Florence Pugh's character is pretty it's pretty not lazy. It just felt kind of disrespectful to who that person was. And I mean, that's really it though. They didn't give her any depth. More than 90% of Florence Pugh's scenes are her naked. Like that was also the thing that kind of gave me like a weird. I was like, does she need to be? like could she have not put on a nightie for this conversation with Cillian Murphy crossing his legs over?
Oh, dude, you're off Twitter, but there's circulating the screenplay and the interaction between Gene Tatlock and Oppenheimer, and it shows like interior bedroom whatever, and then it's like Oppenheimer's perspective, like we are fucking.
Oh God!
Christopher Nolan wrote that.
Wait, as like a line or
no? I think it's like the premise of the scene.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's the Michael Bay of writing, ladies and gentlemen.
They are buddies, by the way.
They are buddies, by
the way. Yeah. I think when like either one of them like I think I read something like to test out some of the IMAX stuff for one of the Transformers. Like Bay invited a bunch of his filmmaking buddies, including Nolan,
and probably Snyder.
And probably Snyder, yeah. Especially Nolan. Nolan's gonna want to see the big City Walk IMAX. Yeah. But yeah. To hop onto their comparison a little, I like to think that, as we said in our last episode, like I think getting into the 3D IMAX really improved Bay as a filmmaker.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the same with Nolan and IMAX. I mean, obviously there's that video on YouTube how Christopher Nolan became a better filmmaker with IMAX. Yeah. It's just a good video. If you can get past the skits, just skip through that shit. But I think their style's greatly improved with the IMAX format, especially Nolan, like, when the cast members, when they're on the red carpet and they're like, you got to see this in IMAX, like if you're gonna whore out something for cinema, have it be IMAX, because man, when because it would change the aspect ratios, much like Bay. And when it would really open up, when that frame would open up, big landscapes out in New Mexico, like I was just it was just like you could step into it. Just absolutely magnificent presentation.
I will say the weirdest part, like his use of it was amazing, but it is funny to make a 70 millimeter movie and it's mostly talking. I mean, the imagery is there, and it makes it worthwhile for 70 millimeter. But it's funny that I say that when I think the only other 70 millimeter movie I've seen was Hateful Eight, which is,
and that was only on like the 35 millimeter maybe.
Oh yeah, did we see it in 35?
Because we saw it at the ArcLight, and the whole controversy that Tarantino was making waves with was that Star Wars demanded to take the big Cinema Dome screen. So that's
lame.
But
yeah, I mean, I noticed, like, seeing it in 70 millimeter, you get to those black and white scenes, and you realize, like, I'm looking at 30% of the screen. I would just start looking at the corner background and be like, what's going on over there? Top left quadrant.
I was seeing a lot of pores, man.
Yeah.
A lot of pores.
And I remember in the first viewing, I was kind of concerned with the first scene that was in black and white, because they also did the they deprocessed they made the audio lo-fi.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But
I actually read something on what they did.
Did they taper back? Because I didn't notice it later.
So what they did, I think the guy who played Oppie's brother said, because the IMAX cameras are so damn loud.
Yeah.
They can't properly record the dialogue.
Oh.
So I think they would do the scene without the camera rolling.
And just record the audio.
Yeah, I believe so.
There's just 100% ADR, pretty much, essentially.
They've been doing that since Bane, man.
That's crazy, dude. That they really haven't figured that out.
Man,
I mean, I guess the IMAX camera's already so gigantic, you can't put a sound like you
can't put a plastic box around it.
You can't put another plastic box. There's probably already one. And they're like, no, this is the best we can do.
This is the noise reductor. It'll melt.
It's like that scene in Babylon when one of the greatest scenes in Babylon is when they discover sound and they're trying to do it. They have to stuff the camera inside just a hot box for the director to use, so they don't hear the reel. And I think the director dies of heat exhaustion.
That's funny.
He at least passes out. They're like, "God, come out, you're good," and he doesn't come out. And they open the door, he just flops out.
He's fried.
Yeah, it's great.
That's pretty good. I like that.
I'll have to. We do need to watch that sometime. I want to watch it with you.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be down to watch.
Such an immature movie, dude.
We'll get some beers in me and we'll watch that sometime.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Oppenheimer. It's so funny. We haven't even talked about the bomb scene.
We haven't even talked about the plot.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about. I mean, everybody knows.
Everybody knows the plot. Yeah, the plot. I hate when I'm reading reviews and there's
people explain the plot.
There's a whole paragraph like, And it's like, oh, I could skip this.
Well, it's like, what do you expect to be on the back of the DVD at some point? Yeah. Like, those don't even exist anymore.
It's so lazy.
Yeah. It's like, especially as someone who I'm a 2-sentence review guy.
Yeah, same.
Tops.
Yeah,
but
I try to. Yeah, I can't.
But I mean, like, I guess we'll get into the ugly conversation about it. We're making this movie about Oppenheimer, and people immediately go, "Why are we going to glorify this man?" And it's not glorifying this guy.
No, it's just
this is not a good guy.
Yeah.
he's an adulterer. He stole someone's wife and cheated on his wife at the same time. He gave up his kid.
The thing with
terrible.
The thing with the gave up his kid part, I really noticed the second time around when he's pleading with his friend, and then he doesn't even skip a beat, like, and he's like, yes, I'm a selfish man. I'm whatever. What do you remember the exact line? Because the other part,
he's like, I'm a selfish man. I pretty much, I don't deserve anything.
Yeah,
and then he goes, and then the guy goes, a selfish man doesn't know he's a selfish man.
Yeah,
and it's like,
it's okay, bud.
And it's like
he enables him right there.
Yeah, just completely enabling. It's like, no, you're
and Oppie set him up for that.
Yeah. That's textbook like narcissist stuff. I think.
Absolutely.
Everybody hates me. I'm the worst. It's victim mentality. But and that is a big thing on this. Like, actually, they didn't get into like his victim mentality for the bomb itself, because I mean, it's pretty assumed that you're gonna feel bad about it. Like and I mean, when people say like, oh, how are you gonna feel bad about it when you did it? It's like, I don't know, man. Like, you do what people do, crazy stuff. People do really crazy stuff, and then they go, wow, that was like, everyone's gotten a little drunk and been like, I don't know why I said that. But it's just a very I can't believe I can't believe I just said that. I can't believe I just made that comparison.
So I couldn't breathe for 20 seconds.
Oh man, but yeah.
This isn't it's not your usual great man biopic, I think. You're absolutely right.
I don't even think it's anti-hero.
No, it's just a guy.
It's just some dude
who did a thing.
Who's really obsessed, and he got and someone found out he was really obsessed, and they're like, we can use him. We could use this guy.
And we'll fuck him over later, but it doesn't matter right now.
Yeah. And I mean, I could see. I don't know if Cillian Murphy will win the Oscar for this.
I hope he does.
I hope he does, but I could see RDJ winning.
No, he would.
Supporting.
Yeah, I could see that.
I think he will more likely win supporting than Cillian Murphy will win lead.
Well, there's an ace in the hole, and his name is Ryan Gosling as Ken.
Yeah.
Well, we won't get into that right now, but that's what I have to say about that.
That is tough. That was also a great performance.
Yeah. But man, what I was gonna say was you're absolutely right. That he's he's not a good guy.
Yeah.
But is it weird to say that watching the movie, watching his performance, I didn't get that vibe at all until you said anything about it?
No, yeah, I completely do understand, but like,
it's because his performance is so good.
Yeah. And anyone can get behind just a manically obsessed person. Everyone's been, even in the most minuscule aspect of something, everyone's been on Candy Crush and just been like, I'm gonna beat it.
Yeah.
Another crazy what am I doing? I need to do some more serious comparisons. But no, the obsessed artist is just a common thing, and it's so easy to hook people with that, I think. But and then they also just made the direct comparison of an obsessed artist with the Can You Hear the Music scene, to go back to that for the 50th time.
Yeah.
Like, he sets it up well, but I think he also did it. There's an easy way to mess that up.
Yeah.
And go, this guy's great. Or not intentionally go, this guy was great, but make a movie and then go like, you think this guy was a great guy? Mm-hmm. And I think he did his due diligence to go like, no. He's pretty sleazy dude. But I mean, Albert Einstein's adorable.
Oh, oh man, have you seen the audience reaction to Einstein scene in Oppenheimer on YouTube? It's a YouTube short, and it's just the scene from the trailer where it's. Yeah, and then it shows Einstein turn his head and the hat fly, and then you just hear a fake audience reacting. Oh, let's go!
It's for sure like the it's definitely the audience reactions to
Morbin time.
No, it's the Captain America.
Yes,
and it's definitely just those audience.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's so funny. But the whole Albert Einstein scene like really I mean, it's really about Robert Downey Jr. You find out in the end, him talking to Albert Einstein, which I just thought about this, but the comparison between Robert Downey Jr.'s character and Cillian Murphy's character shows the vast disparity of Robert Downey Jr.'s just ego, and then Cillian Murphy's actual drive, to push forward. And whereas Robert Downey Jr. probably thinks he's pushing forward, but he's really just trying. He's a politician. He's a politician at the end of the day. Like so those two characters like butting heads is. I mean, it's just like Bane versus. It's a worse comparison, but it's at least
more in line, I guess. Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. I mean, the first real role he's been in a long time.
Yeah.
And yeah, just
What do you mean? He did Dr. Dolittle.
That's exactly what I mean. Fuck you.
When you said it unlocked it in my brain. I was like, oh, that's right, he did that.
You know what? I don't have that much to say about RDJ except for he was pretty great in it, and you killed any enthusiasm I had for. Back to Cillian.
I loved him in Charlie Bartlett. Have you seen Charlie Bartlett?
I haven't seen Charlie Bartlett.
That's a fun one.
That was like months before Iron Man. I remember though. I remember seeing that trailer a lot.
Oh yeah. No, it's a fun movie, and he's a great part in it. But
Cillian Murphy, I think, because they've long Nolan, I think, has long said that Michael Caine is his lucky charm every movie. But in truth, Cillian Murphy is his secret weapon.
Yeah,
like going back to Batman Begins. He's just been kind of like low key in his movies for so long, and then putting him at the forefront, and
he's showing his hand here.
He's showing his hand, and he's just that face of his, and
he likes a sharp jawed man.
Fuck. Yeah, those cheekbones, man.
Except for Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy's a real round face.
Yeah, real round face. Yeah. He just needs Tom's eyes.
Yeah.
That's
why he covers his cheeks. Like he doesn't have a sharp enough chin. We got Bale. We got Cillian Murphy. Wait, there's one more. I had one. McConaughey.
Yes. You know what? I had a thought this morning. Prepping for this convo. Because going back to Cillian Murphy, like even in Inception, he sells his emotional center of the movie better than DiCaprio sells his.
Really?
Because his whole thing is they're gonna incept the idea into his brain, and he has a troubled relationship with his father. And the whole catharsis with him in the end is that the catharsis scene with him where he in his dream his father's dying, and he just nails that scene. And Leo the whole time though, I need to get back to my children. It's like, you've never wanted a kid a moment in your life.
It's Jean. It's my wife.
My wife. Like those are your
that is the thing with Inception. I can't. That's why Shutter Island and Inception fuck me up. It's the wife thing.
Because the thing in Shutter Island, at least with that, is there's a possibility the kids didn't even exist.
It's a real Casey Anthony. situation.
The wife thing I can buy. He's got a young wife. Okay, I'll buy it. Yeah. But having 2 kids that he cares to get back to so much, it's not no.
But yeah, I mean, Oppenheimer 5. I gave it 5 stars the first time, then 4.5 just for the whole handling of Gene Tatlock.
Yeah. No, it's a 5er for me. Like I always say, it's either the best thing, the most mid thing, or the most worst thing for me.
I mean, you just said. I mean, you just said it's either a yes or a no. It's like, yeah, those are the only two.
Yeah.
Those are the only 2 answers.
Yeah, so I'm a 5 bags of popcorn kind of guy.
5 bags of popcorn. Yeah.
I want to talk about all the micro roles for all the dudes that we've grown up with, and
Josh Peck.
Josh Peck.
Oh yeah.
Josh Peck was the guy that turned the key, man.
That's right. And he did have another line. I remember.
Yeah, he said like "my God" or something. That was his first line.
He's like, "Wow." He looked like he was he just got woken up.
He was.
I saw someone giving crap to the whole Rami Malek MacGuffin. Kind of thing where he's the guy that comes to save the day, which I mean we were talking about it when we were doing Barbenheimer. Cillian Murphy just bullied him in 2 different scenes.
Well, and I had missed that scene. I went to the bathroom first time I saw it, so I missed his introductory scene. But oh man, yeah, when I saw it for the first time, I was like, yes, he's a fucking nerd.
He takes his pen in the first scene, and then in the second scene, when they're trying to sign the petition, he just knocks the pen and the clipboard out of his hand in public.
And then in the end, like he saves the where's it Adam Sandler at the end of Billy Madison? He saves the day, and I that's the best use of him I've ever seen, I think.
Yeah, no, he did great.
Yeah.
On that, and yeah, like the whole hearing scene was fantastic. With
him.
Yeah,
just his weird face and those glasses on,
Yeah,
I was cool with it.
And the other, like in the closed hearing with Damon, we haven't even talked about Damon.
Oh my God, Damon! Oh man, Downey Jr. is gonna get the nomination, but Matt Damon, I think, is the best supporting actor.
I think so too.
Nominee for me.
Yeah. But that scene with it was so heartbreaking as he was reading the, like, based off this code, would you let him get his security clearance kind of thing, and as he's reading it, it's kind of the same thing as we'll get into Mission Impossible with Ilsa. You know what's about to happen. He's gonna read it all and go no.
Yeah.
it's like man, but what was the other Matt Damon thing I thought of?
Oh, when they're kicking somebody off the project,
and
Oppenheimer's like, "Well, what are we gonna do with him?" Like, well, Matt Damon's like, "We'll kill him."
Well, yeah, we'll just kill him.
I'm just kidding. It was the most Matt Damon. Like, now Matt Damon is a true dad.
Yeah,
he's a true dad actor now.
Oh wait, Eric brought this one up. This is how superhero movies has made a ripple in all of cinema.
Mm-hmm.
There's a suit up scene. Do you remember the suit?
Yes, yes. When Krumholtz tells him, he's like, "You need to get out of that military uniform."
They literally put him in a military uniform.
It's the Batman Begins.
For 15 seconds, they put him in a military uniform just for him to take it off and put on what he's been wearing this whole time.
The Oppenheimer suit.
Yeah.
Put on the suit. Yeah. Fucking awesome.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it was like I when that part happened the second time, in my mind I was playing the Batman Begins, the dun 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 dun. Yeah, and the pipe was placed next to the hat.
It was perfect. Yeah. I like that he was either smoking or did he was smoking cigarettes too throughout it too.
Oh yeah.
I don't think there was a scene without a cigarette.
Yeah. Oh my God. I've missed period pieces because I've missed seeing smoking in movies.
Those poor actors are never gonna get away. It's funny how, like, there's actors that back in the day everyone was smoking just in movies, and then now, like, normal current day movies, people aren't smoking as much. But then you get to a certain point in your career, that you do a period piece and then you have to go back to smoking the fake cigarettes, and you're like, "Damn, I thought I got out of this." Every time I see a movie with a period piece like this, at some point in the movie I'm like, God, it had to have been rough, man. They're like 2 months in, you just have been like, I don't know if I could do this anymore. I don't know if I could smoke rope. I think that's what they said in Grandma's Boy. The fake weed, it's pretty much like twine.
Oh god,
it's terrible. That's crazy.
It sucks. Poor guys.
Yeah, but at least Dante smoked real weed.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, I think they said he did once, and then realized he had to do the scene like 10 times. He's like, I don't know if I.
You like to try on my birthday suit? Anyways,
I have antlers.
Do I have antlers now? Yeah, I wanted to make special mention of Josh Hartnett.
Oh yeah,
yeah, man. I hope this brings a career resurgence for him. The Hartnetticence. Patent pending, working on it. Yeah. I mean, it's not. Whenever an actor shows up in this movie, it's not really a big showy role, but it is, like Casey Affleck, for example.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just showed up and he was the guy. He had those glasses. He had that slight Midwestern accent, I guess you could say.
Guy really shoots from the hip.
Guy really shoots from the hip kind of guy. Yeah. He reminded me of like Matt Dillon.
A true experimenter.
Shoots
from the hip. Yeah.
Shoots from the hip. Yeah. Yeah. He actually. It's funny you said that. It's a line from "There's Something About Mary." Matt Dillon says. He reminds me of that's like a Matt Dillon role. Like way back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just cool seeing him and Matt Damon on screen. As I told you, did I tell you? Yeah, like my sister, she loved Matt Damon and Josh Hartnett. Posters on the wall and shit. And to see those two walk up to each other and shake hands, it brought a twinkle to my eye.
Nice.
It really did.
Yeah, no, his Josh Hartnett's interactions with Cillian Murphy were some of my favorite.
Yeah,
it's immediately established that the differences of their characters and what they like to do. So just seeing how the Josh Hartnett pushing him and also pushing him to not do things. He's not a political theorist, really. But he is. I mean, that kind of, I forgot about like the whole fence sitting. This is like pretty much like a cautionary tale about fence sitting. Because he willingly goes on to this mission to create the bomb, but everything about his politics and things like that contradict what he's doing. But it's because he's a fence sitter that he does it still. Yeah. He doesn't. He's willing to hear everything, and like that's great to be open-minded and stuff like that. But then at some point you got to make a decision. You got to understand what you're doing. And he didn't. I mean, he did, but
he's too late.
He believed in people too much. You gotta not do that, man. Sometimes you just gotta be like, some people suck. Quote Tom Segura.
The shit you say when you're drunk.
Yeah, damn it. Wish I opened with that line. Damn.
Man, yeah, we don't really even talk about the Trinity yet. We're already at the Radiance, but I mean, what's there to say? It was fucking amazing.
Yeah,
it looked like it was happening 30 miles away on that IMAX screen.
And I mean, obviously, it's a beautiful thing to do with how much it's been like. It almost feels now like it was manufactured. All the memes of like sit in front row at Oppenheimer, and you're gonna like be the Raiders of the Lost Ark people that get melted.
Or T2,
like all that stuff, and then when you see it, it's silent for 30 seconds, and you're like, oh.
dude, yeah, that was. Yeah, because you were programmed by social media to look at it a certain way.
Yeah, that was a perfect bait and switch that they did, and yeah, I wonder, like, do you think at conspiracy corner right now? Do you think that was some manufactured memes?
Who the fuck knows?
That
knows? Stupid AI image of a cameraman in front of that mushroom cloud that's just made of like mechanical circles. It looks like.
I still can't believe that that just went through. I didn't see enough people going like, like oh, this is crazy AI or anything. Like people were like, wow, this is gonna be a crazy movie. I'm like, do you not understand? That's like a 50-cylinder engine. It does like, it made an engine like AI makes hands. There's like the fingers are always messed up. It's like, and why do we need an engine?
Oh man.
Wait, did you? Okay, wait. I forgot. Maybe I think I understood it in the second viewing, but the whole marbles in the glass jar, was that the plutonium they were trying to collect?
I'm in the exact frame of mind that you are on that. That's what I'm wondering too. Was that the yeah.
I think that's what they established. Like because Matt Damon said like, oh, we have a we have a mine, we have like a crazy amount of plutonium, but they have to harvest it still. They have to or cure it, whatever the freaking term is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess they were adding in things to know when it would be ready, and they would have enough plutonium to do it. But I mean, that's the Dunkirk timeline thing. Another good old Nolanism.
Yeah, you know what? Oppenheimer made me realize. Yeah, my top 3 Nolan movies. This would be one of them. Dark Knight Rises and Tenet. I'm a big fan of Nuclear Annihilation Nolan. Yeah, I think that's my Nolan sweet spot.
Yeah.
Love that.
I think I would go Tenet, probably Dark Knight Rises, and then Oppenheimer. Actually, Oppenheimer, Dark Knight Rises. We'll have to see how that.
We're in sync on that.
We'll see. We'll have to see how time.
That's cool.
How time goes there.
Okay.
Speaking of nuclear explosions, Mission Impossible.
Oh yeah. Let's yeah, we'll do a little.
Do a little.
Yeah. Fuck, man. Yeah, I saw this weeks ago, and it's sadly as my mind has,
I mean, we've just seen so much Barbie and Oppenheimer since then.
Yeah, I'm almost tired of it.
Yeah, it's like it, and it is a damn shame. Our brains did exactly what the box office did to Mission Impossible. Like it just got cannibalized by Barbie and Oppenheimer. And it's a damn shame because it's Dead Reckoning is a great movie.
Yeah, one of the best entries of the series.
I'm curious. I'm partial to the second 3. The second trilogy of Mission Impossible.
Oh yeah. Of Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, Fallout.
Yeah, especially rewatching Rogue Nation. I think we both had the same kind of appreciation. That was one of our weaker ones.
Yeah.
And then rewatching it, man, that really blew me away.
Yeah. It has a lot of parts that fuck. Yeah.
The whole the scene in the underwater server.
Mm-hmm.
From there all the way to him chasing him after just dying.
Yeah.
That is maybe one of the most impressive, like, just action sequences.
Yeah, they're in Casablanca, too.
Yeah.
That shit's awesome.
It just looks, he's riding his bike down freaking stairs.
Yeah,
it's insane.
I actually used to think that motorcycle chase in Rogue Nation was better than the one in Fallout. I don't think that way anymore. But it's because they're shot differently.
Yeah.
Different motorcycles, different types of motorcycles. Yeah. And yeah, I just love when those shots of when Tom is just right over the pavement.
Oh yeah. Cutting the line.
Yeah. That shit rocks.
But let's get into Dead Reckoning for a little bit first.
Yeah.
And then we can kind of talk about how it fits in the whole the whole Mission Impossible series.
Mm-hmm.
So this one was kind of interesting. It's a part 1, so it's hard to deal with at times, but nothing about it really felt like a part 1.
Yeah.
Obviously, like they made the mission good enough to warrant it.
Yeah, and to where it has an end stake.
Yeah. I was very shocked. I mean, people were talking about the Mission Impossible cliffhanger. I was like, what cliffhanger?
I mean, it's kind of a cliffhanger because the enemy is still out there.
Yeah, the enemy's still out there,
but they lost today.
Yeah,
they did lose today. It's not the Infinity War ending.
That's what I was like. Yeah, like and in Spider-Verse, he kind of loses in this part 1. Like, so it was just a weird switch for me. It's like he was flying away with the key, and I was like, wait, what?
It was the Last Jedi ending.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, I mean, So we had 3 sequences: the airport, the nightclub, and then the train, of course.
Yeah.
What kind of kept you the? I mean, obviously the train's
obviously
just insanity,
the train.
Yeah.
Well, the thing for me was this Mission Impossible in particular, and once you get back on the James Bond train, this is the Roger Moore movie of the Mission Impossible series.
Okay.
Starting out with a Spy Who Loved Me reference with the submarine disappearing and getting it gets destroyed, which is reminiscent of For Your Eyes Only's plot, which is the impetus for how that movie goes. Yeah, a spy ship gets sunk, and yeah, they're looking for the device that was inside of it. They go to Venice, very Moonraker. Yeah, fucking awesome. And then the climax is very reminiscent of one of the action sequences in Octopussy with the train, where he's climbing on the train and stuff. So that's really what hooked me in, because as we said on the last one, maybe I say this a lot, more is my favorite James Bond. Yeah. I love his movies the most, and the tone too. The tone, it was a lot wackier. In a different way than Ghost Protocol was. It was a lot more slapsticky this time around. Which cool. Because Fallout's so it can be pretty grim, and
I mean, the slapsticky humor is just a matter of how much Simon Pegg do we get.
Well, no, I mean, I did send you that clip from For Your Eyes Only where James Bond's car gets blown up, and then he's like, "I hope you have a car," and they go to this little yellow buggy type car.
Oh yeah,
and that's for the chase sequence. Right out, it's the same setup and everything, and then
Indiana Jones also did that
in the Dial of Destiny.
Yeah,
didn't they do like a tuk-tuk chase?
Yeah.
That Octopussy.
It was pretty cool.
Octopussy.
Over CG'd, but it was fun.
I'll give that its day in court.
Yeah,
I promise to. But yeah. So
okay, wait. I wanted to ask. So, I think for me, the airport scene versus the nightclub or the sequence, it's more than one scene. Honestly, they're pretty long sequences.
Yeah, it's like 2 set pieces in Venice.
Yeah. Because it's in the nightclub and then it's the chase outside
in
the
nightclub. Canals. Yeah.
Best hand-to-hand combat part was definitely in the really tight alleyway.
Ooh,
that was so sick. Just dealing with your setting is that was like one of the most clever set pieces I had seen. And it's weird because it's a dark alley.
Yeah,
like, so visually it's maybe not the most stimulating thing, but like just watching them figure out this puzzle was really fun. But the just the mystery of who we're dealing with in the airport was what really what really did it for me.
Yeah.
Because like just the whole his glass is malfunctioning because of the entity is toying with him. He thinks he sees someone, but takes off the glasses, they're not there. Yeah. And it's like, wait, is the entity taking a form? It's like, oh no, he's just tricking him. And all the antics with the entity and how it's espionage versus you're used to just seeing mostly IMF's espionage.
Yeah.
There's some counter espionage in most of the other movies, but it's more so just authority going after the IMF of some sort. So that was really interesting to see counter espionage, and them being thwarted a lot of the times around every corner they turned. They're like, there's a new freaking thing they have to figure out.
Which is why they gotta go analog.
They gotta go analog. I was hoping to see a can with a string.
You know what's funny? They said that we gotta go analog. This is the first Mission Impossible movie shot entirely in digital.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Did you feel that at all? As I got some, I could feel it, but like I've so accustomed to digital now that I know when it looks good and I know when it looks bad. This is on the better spectrum, obviously.
Yeah. I think where the reason I'm struggling to notice is because it's the first Mission Impossible movie I saw in in true IMAX.
No, we saw Fallout.
Oh, we saw Fallout in true IMAX.
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember.
I see.
But I've seen Fallout. I've seen Fallout too many times in my home. Kind of to be able to draw this. I would have to.
You notice the IMAX ratio opens up during the helicopter chase as he's running to the helicopter. Yeah, you see it expand. Crazy. So cool. So cool.
That is sweet. Yeah. So what that mean? Is that just cropping? You think they shot in the wider aspect ratio and then just uncropped it, or do you think they shot it twice in each version and then like cross dissolved almost kind of thing?
I don't know.
How does quantum theory work?
Quantum mechanics. Quantum of solace.
Wait, is it quantum mechanics or physics? I've been saying physics the whole time. So
quantum mechanics is a property of physics. I think. I don't know.
We could call our engineer dorks.
Travis.
But
yeah. Yeah. So Scientologist Tom Cruise, he's fighting God in this movie.
Likely to win.
Yeah.
He's donated enough. He's a high Thetan.
But yeah, no, he stares straight in the camera and he says, "There's nothing that's gonna stop me from killing you, Gabriel, and your God." 5 stars. That was 5 stars right there.
Yeah. I will say, okay, we discussed this before we were on mic, but the reveal of the AI being in charge of the lighting at the nightclub. That just, I mean, does that prove that AI, they not only like are sentient, but they also have hobbies?
Yeah.
They're like, I'm doing the lights for Skrillex also at the same time.
I hope in the next one, like, yeah, we get like just whole scenes of just the entity just chilling.
And they should show a festival set list at some point. Like it'll be like Skrillex back-to-back quartet with light show done by the entity.
We got the entity.
The entity just takes over the DJ decks. He's like, you know what? I want to try this too.
Gabriel comes in and he kills him.
Yeah,
he hangs him on the string.
But I mean, getting into the big tragedy in this one with Ilsa's death.
Yeah, with Rebecca Ferguson having to shoot Dune Part 2.
Yeah,
so sad.
But so there was the scene before where they're on the gondola. And they have a little moment.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, that's the moment where I was like, she's gonna die.
Like, no, I because we've seen that trailer for so long. I thought because she had the eye patch on the one scene, they showed that in all the marketing, I believe.
Yeah.
I thought like she was gonna fight Gabriel and then she was gonna like get wounded, severely wounded, and then be sidelined. But then, like you said, then I was like, oh, she's gonna die, ain't she? Yeah.
I will say though, in the intro, maybe one of the more clunky Mission Impossible intros for me. The whole finding Ilsa in the desert, that part I was just a little bit.
It felt like, man, it was like, just like it was like a jump. It was just like, what? How did you get in the middle of the fucking desert? Okay.
Yeah, I was 0 for 2 on Sandstorm cinema for Mission Impossible.
You didn't like the Ghost Protocol Sandstorm sequence?
I don't know. I just it didn't add anything for like. I love it's probably because the Burj Khalifa scene is right before it.
Yeah.
So just in comparison, like that whole long travel into the, I forget the funny name for him. The Haboob is that there's a funny sounding name for a sandstorm. I think it's technically something different. But yeah, that I just did. I don't think it's been figured out completely. I wonder if Dune's gonna figure it out.
Well, Tom Cruise, he also did that in The Mummy.
Great.
I only remember him. It's the shot of him and the girl, and they're running from and it's like Ghost Protocol.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like other scenes that had like Mad Max, but that was just complete mayhem.
Yeah,
like that was just auteur craziness.
Yeah, it was painting.
It was more than a sandstorm. Yeah. It was far more than a sandstorm. So that's cheating. That's another Hank Aaron right there. Hope you all watch baseball. I don't, but
I went to a ball game where Casey Affleck was this past week.
Yeah, for Filipino night.
Yeah, Casey Affleck was at Filipino night. I was like, what the fuck is he? Ben's gonna be very upset. He hit the Sox, Fenway. Yeah, he was there with James Marsden, Cyclops from X-Men.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, I feel so good. I feel so good right now.
So was JC. You're in good company. I don't know why that. I don't know where that came from.
I have to. Yeah, very sad. Ilsa, R.I.P. Right to the heart, man.
Yeah.
Oh, how did you feel? And I had trouble with this. The retcon of Gabriel being the he's like, I basically created you, Ethan, and I was like, no, in the first movie that was what created Ethan Hunt. Yeah.
It's been so long
since he's in the first one.
I just had to take it at his word. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess you were in the older ones. No. It's been a while, but so yeah, that didn't really affect me. I was like, sure.
It bothered me. It bothered me at first, but then because they didn't go to the Spectre level of I'm the orchestrator of all of it.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't go that far, so I was cool with it.
Yeah,
so that's fine. I did like seeing Issei Morales as the villain. Haven't seen him in anything since probably NYPD Blue in 2003.
Wow.
Yeah. He's Bob from La Bamba.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. Fun.
But that's the wrong word. I'm not doing great with my adjectives and comparisons today.
But yeah, great screen presence. Love seeing that guy.
It's so tough, man. It's do you want to talk about Barbie or Oppenheimer more?
We can talk about Dusty Daniels.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, did you want to hop on to Righteous Gemstones a little bit?
Man, I don't think we're gonna have enough time.
No.
Yeah. We'll cover that again. But a little preview. Dusty Daniels is in this. Shea Wiggum. I love seeing him and stuff.
Yeah. I will say they were in every spy movie, there's always the main villain, and then there's the people chasing after the hero that are just second rate.
There's The Rock in Fast Five.
They're commonly like comedic almost.
Yeah, because it's like this guy again.
It's definitely more of like a Tom and Jerry kind of thing.
Yeah,
where they're always just one step.
That's exactly
ahead.
what it is in Ghost Protocol, because Brad Bird is he's Tom and Jerry Looney Tunes style in that one.
Yeah. And the oh wait, sorry, you said Ghost Protocol.
Ghost Protocol.
That's with the KGB guy.
Yeah.
I would say in him he's a little bit more ahead of him. Because there are some moments where you're like, oh man, he's dead to rights. But in Dead Reckoning, was there really like a moment where he felt dead to rights? It was always kind of like, we're gonna get you.
It's only because they only have a real confrontation in the last scene.
Yeah.
But man, like when he shows, he's like, oh, you want to go to a party? And then they show up at the door, and they're like, you're not on the list. It just fucking tases them both.
Full pain and gain entry.
And then the partner, who's I believe he's Coyote in Top Gun Maverick.
Oh.
Yeah. He's just like shocked. Whoa.
Oh, that's right. He's probably going to become an IMF agent in part 2. I bet.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, because he starts questioning his master.
Yep. I love that when he's like, he's because this is my thing, because they were disavowed in every single movie except for 2.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that this dude's questioning it, and I was like, yeah.
It's like, how many times has he been disavowed? And it turns out he's doing the right thing. Maybe we should just take his word for it one time.
And then that was a cool moment though, when Cruz parachuted out at the end of the climax, and then Shea Wiggum, he's aiming at him, and he's like, I'm not gonna shoot this guy. Like, why am I gonna shoot this guy?
But yeah, I mean one of the more high tension mask scenes. I mean, the full, I would say, where the second trilogy falters is their use of the masks.
Yeah.
I feel like there's some insecurity with it.
Yeah. They had it break down.
Yeah.
In Ghost Protocol and Fallout.
Yeah, there were two different instances where like, no mask, guys, sorry.
Yeah.
So we just got to trust it. But like, I'm glad they returned to it, because that impersonation scene with with Alana
with Peggy Carter.
With Peggy Carter, she that like the tension building there throughout that was perfect.
Yeah, that all that shit reminded me of like the first movie. It's not the same thing exactly. Mm-hmm. The mask reveal happens way later in the sequence in the first movie, but yeah, just the constant like when the brothers like he just knows something's wrong, and then I remember saying after I was like I mean, wouldn't you know your sister's eye color? And then Alex was like, well, I mean, what's your mom's eye color? Like, can you think of it right now? And I was like,
I mean, unless they're like bright blue.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. But also, I thought they do. Don't they have contacts that they do?
They didn't have them available then.
Oh,
yeah.
But
I think their contacts, they have like cameras too, and they couldn't do couldn't fuck with that.
But yeah, no, that is interesting. That how they were kind of moving away from those, because I see the point. You go through 3 movies of doing that. There's really only 2 things you can do with a mask. You can deceive the audience, or you can deceive a character.
Yeah,
that's really it.
And you can do both at the same time.
You can do both at the same time also, but like either way, it's really only 2 to 3 streets that you can go down with it. So I kind of get why they did it. And they did both in this one. Mm-hmm. They did in in Ghost Protocol. They did the fooling the audience with the character in the intro. Fallout. Sorry.
Fallout. Yeah, Fallout.
And with Wolf Blitzer.
Yeah, with Wolf.
Great. and you get the retribution of like Simon Pegg was always saying like, oh, I want to wear a mask. And they're like, all right, a little gimme. You get to have the mask.
You get to be Wolf Blitzer.
You get to be Wolf.
Wolf Blitzer also in Skyfall giving the news report. MI6 is blowed up. Yeah, he's great in those spy movies.
It's fun. I think we should wrap it up.
Yeah,
soon. We have to go get to.
We got to go get to the New Beverly to see my favorite movie of all time, Michael Mann's 1986 film Manhunter, and hopefully we'll be talking about that soon. I think you're gonna have to hop on watching them for Halloween season.
Yeah,
all the Hannibals.
Yeah,
and
this is go back through.
This is the perfect intro, because you're gonna see a version of Hannibal Lecter removed of Anthony Hopkins' portrayal, which a lot of people they can't not see Anthony Hopkins in the role. So this will be fun.
Yeah, and I think the next episode, Eric and I will probably try to record one. Mm-hmm. I think you said this week we'll record, and then we're getting into spooky season soon. That'll be fun.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Maybe we'll watch Exorcist 3 this time. Yeah.
Exorcist 3. Because we want to see that.
The Exorcist Believer.
The worst, a real January title name.
It doesn't even sound like a sequel.
Yeah,
it sounds like a ripoff that came out in 2010 or something. Yeah,
but no, it looks great.
It looks good. It's the same team behind the recent Halloween.
That's right.
trilogy,
Yeah, you told me
McBride and David Gordon Green. So
yeah,
and we'll hopefully get into Gemstones next. McBride again on top of his game. Mm-hmm.